public after 14 months of a lot of hard work and 7 years of back to the wall and really trying to grow and build the company and not being able to have enough money to pay salaries and all those kind of things. Going public was certainly a very important step. But what I learnt was it was just the start of a new journey.
Domenic, what words of wisdom would you give to anyone wanting to get ahead in our industry?
I believe in terms of people getting ahead, I think first and foremost, find something that you love doing. When you find something that you love doing, the passion, the excitement, and turning what you love doing into a job, in my view, I think that's the first key. How can anyone put in 150% when they don't really love what they do? And I think that's fundamental. That is the foundation. And then secondly, actually, really, there isn't a second thing, is to find what you love. I mean, you can just delete that point, the rest of that point. When you've found that, the rest just flows.
Domenic, your career, I'm not sure whether you have 5 or 10-year plans. You've done so much already. But further down the track, where would you like to see yourself at?
I believe in actually having written down goals and objectives. And the things that we're doing with Destra today, maybe not as much detail in the matter of which we've executed, have definitely been written down. And so I have goals that I've written down for the next 5, 10 and 15 and even 20 years. And they're things that I very much keep to myself. I don't like to communicate them to the world, but what I like to do is to write them down in my little book, and usually go back and refer to them every once in a while just to make sure that I'm on track.
So Little Black Book for you is about your career. Any ladies' addresses in there?
There's a couple. I still haven't found the one, but I'm sure. Hopefully, she's watching this program.
I'm here. Domenic, you've touched on mentors. How did you actually go about finding a mentor?
I have close to a dozen different mentors that I work with on various areas and topics over the last 15 or so years. And there's actually a story in finding my first mentor. And it was I was 18, 19 years old, had just set up the company. One could argue, if I look back to back then, I really didn't know what I was doing. But that's what you do when you just set up the company. And I was having difficulty. I kind of didn't know the kinds of things we needed to do next. And I spoke to someone that I knew, and I asked for help. And help is such a powerful word, and it's actually a very hard word to say, because it takes a bit of soul searching. It takes a bit of guts to actually say it, because you're exposing your vulnerabilities. And this person said, actually, I can't help you directly, but I've got someone that you should speak to who can actually give you some help on this particular topic. This gentleman called Adolf Hanik has been my mentor for quite a number of years. And back then, I never used to really have any money to pay a mentor. And so I basically used to take him out. I used to like Asian food. So I used to take him down to, in Melbourne, down to Victoria Street once a month, buy him lunch, and for that hour just pick his brain, asking him a whole bunch of questions and seeking his counsel on the business. And so that was basically the way that I found a mentor. Firstly, I asked for help, and then two, I just bought them lunch. And I think that's a way that anyone can try and find a mentor. There are also a number of organisations like the EO Entrepreneurs Organisation, the YPO, the Young Presidents Organisation, as well as the Tech Group, the Executive Connection, which are effectively mentoring programs for people who are running businesses. And what I find is being able to interact and communicate and just share experiences with other people, with other business people, is actually so important in trying to run a successful organisation, because it sometimes is actually quite lonely at the top. There aren't that many other people. You can't really go and talk to your staff sometimes about some business issues. And so having a mentoring group or a peer group around you that allows you to bounce ideas, I think has been really instrumental in the company's success, but also my success.
We're just astonished that you do actually get the time, to do all of these things. So, what's your working day like?
I usually work, in my mind, I work 24/7 because I'm always thinking about the business and new opportunities. But I also have a view that if you have 5 things to do in a day, you'll basically get them done in a day. If you have 2 things to get done in a day, you'll basically get them done in a day, because our time happens to be filled with the things that we need to do. And I remember completing the Masters of Entrepreneurship Innovation, trying to list a company at the same time, and that's all possible, and studying for the MEI while going to university. So all the things that we have to do fill up the day in which we need to do them in. And so if we have 20 things to do in a day, we can basically get them all fitted in, because what happens when we're not putting ourselves under pressure is that we maybe become less disciplined in the way that we do things and manage things. And rather than something taking 20 minutes where we give it our undivided attention, it ends up taking us 2 hours. And so when we have so many things to do, you're a lot more disciplined about what you do and how you do it in order to be able to get the most important things done.
Work aside then, do you have any hobbies?
I believe that a healthy body leads to a healthy mind, and actually at the same time you could argue that a healthy mind leads to a healthy body. So I try and do exercise, spin classes, yoga, anything that basically gets me out of the office and perspirating and doing something physical. I find that when for example, I'll come back from a gym session or yoga, and my brain will be filled with 400 ideas. And actually some of my most creative time is where I've come back to the office from the gym and just spent 2 or 3 hours strategizing and working. And so I sometimes find that switching off from work, recharging the batteries, allows me to go back and to be so much more productive.
What's your favourite word?
Actually, I've got a bunch of favourite words, but being deep and dominant is one favourite word. And you may ask, well, where does that word come from? One of the books that I've read, Jack Welch from GE, one of his mantras is to become one of the top 3 in any markets you enter, and effectively be deep and dominant. And so everything that Destra does, we've taken on his mantra of being deep and dominant in any market or industry that we enter.
What's your least favourite word?
Can't and no.
What turns you off?
Negative people with negative energy.
What turns you on?
People with positive energy, because I believe that success breeds success.
What sound annoys you?
For some reason, I can't handle the sound when someone's vacuuming the floor. I just can't handle that sound. For some reason, I think I'm allergic to housework.
What's your favourite curse word?
No comment.
Dominic, what profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
When I was younger, I either wanted to set up my own company, be a stockbroker, or be a lawyer. And really now, by running my own company, we're listed on the stock exchange, so I'm dealing with stockbrokers all the time. We're making acquisitions, so I'm dealing with lawyers all the time. So really, I've got the best of all worlds based on the kinds of things that I've always wanted to do when I was a little kid.
And if heaven exists, what would you like to hear when you reach those pearly gates?
I think, firstly, heaven does exist, maybe not in the form that we all speak about. That's actually a very, very good question. I'd like to hear that I'm going to go back down because I've done good in this life and someone upstairs wants me to do good in another life.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Dominic.